These are notes for section 7.2 and 7.3, multiplying polynomials. Now, if you remember in section 7.1, we did 3 different videos, 3 lessons in section 7.1. The first 2 were a lot of vocabulary, laying the groundwork, monomial, binomial, trinomial. And then in the third video was actually talking about adding and subtracting. Well, today we're picking up the next basic math operation, which is multiplying. And isn't it funny that the higher order math we're doing, we start with basic operations, add, subtract, multiply, and then you'll see how dividing comes into polynomials in section 7.4. So multiplying polynomials is to distribute. And again, that's a pre-algebra or algebra 1 concept that we should have, just like adding and subtracting. If you remember, adding and subtracting from 7.1 is combining like terms. Well, 7.2 and 7.3 is distributing, another pre-algebra topic. The steps to solve a linear equations: distribute, combine like terms. So these are things we should be familiar with. For example, if I have this -3 out front, I can multiply. I distribute. I get rid of the parentheses. -3 times 2, -6x. -3 times -4, +12. These terms don't go together because they're not like terms. A binomial with a degree of 1. So now I can see what this looks like in algebra 2. Now, on the outside of the parentheses, I don't just have a 3, I have a 3x. And this is where we pick up and combine the stuff about exponent properties from chapter 6, section 1. If I multiplied 3 times 4, that would give me 12. And if I multiplied x, which is what I have here, times x squared, well, when I multiply by the same base, I add the exponents. Chapter 6, section 1, day 1 in the videos. So now I take this 3x times 2x. 3 times 2 is 6. X times x is x squared. 3x times -1 is -3x. None of these go together because they're not like terms. I have x to the third, x squared, and x. Notice it's written in the correct order, always. Biggest degree out front, followed by the next, followed by the next. On number 2, I take this -2x and I distribute it. I multiply. There are 2 terms on the inside of the parentheses, so I multiply it to both of them. -2 times 3 is -6. X times x to the third would be x to the fourth. -2 times -5 is +10. Negative times a negative, positive. And x times x is x squared. They don't go together. They're not like terms. Now, in number 3, I have 3 terms on the inside of the parentheses, which means this has to multiply to each of them. 5 times 2 is 10, x to the 6th. 5 times 4 is -20, x to the 5th. Multiply by the same base, add the exponents. And 5 times 3 would give me 15x squared. Biggest degree out front, followed by the next, followed by the next. That's one term, a monomial times a trinomial. A monomial times a binomial. Okay, well, we can up our game here and talk about a binomial times a binomial. Again, a lot of vocab, but what we have is 2 terms times 2 terms. 2 things times 2 things. And again, this comes down to distributing. We're multiplying. We're multiplying because there is no sign in between here. If there is no sign, we assume it's multiply. So I have to take this x and multiply it by each of these terms. So that'd be x times x, which is x squared. X times -5, -5x. That's taking the x, multiplying it through. Now I also have to take this 4 and multiply it through, because this is 4 times x minus 5. So 4 times x would give me positive 4x, and 4 times -5 would give me -20. That's multiplying. I've distributed. It's the same distributing that we did up here. It's the same distributing that we did in Algebra 1. All of this distributing is the exact same. I have a set of parentheses with no sign in between, so I have to multiply. After you multiply, we have to see if we have any like terms. Well, these 2 things go together. X squared minus x Negative 5 plus 4 is minus x, minus 20. A trinomial with a degree of 2. On number 8, I take this 2x and I distribute. 2x times negative x, negative 2x squared. 2x times negative 7, minus 14x. 3 times negative x, negative 3x. And 3 times negative 7, minus 21. After I distribute, multiply, multiply, I combine my terms. That's negative 2x squared minus 17x minus 21. Couple more. On number 9, you'll notice that I have 3 terms in my second set of parentheses. So now I have to take this 3x, multiply it here, multiply it here, multiply it here. I got to multiply it through all of the terms. So that would be 3x to the third plus 9x squared minus 15x. Now I have to take this 6, multiply, multiply, multiply. So that would give me plus 6x squared plus 18x, running out of room, minus 30. Got it. Now I have to go through and combine like terms. There are no other 3x to the third, so it's just 3x to the third. 9x squared will go with 9x squared. 9 plus 6 would give me 15x squared. I'm sorry, I think I said 9 and 9, 9 and 6. Apologize. Negative 15 plus 18x, negative 15x plus 18x, plus 3x, and then that minus 30 just gets tacked on the end. A 4-term polynomial, written in the correct order, biggest degree out front. Now, the reason we cover 2 sections at once, 7.2 and 7.3, is because in section 7.3, they want to give shortcuts. And I don't like them. I think the shortcuts confuse kids because the problems look very similar. So my directions in order to factor problems in 7.3 are the exact same as the directions to multiply. I'm sorry, I said factor, but in order to simplify, to multiply in 7.2. So whatever I have in this first set of parentheses, I multiply through. That would leave me with x squared plus 3x. And then I would multiply here, plus 3x plus 9. Go through and combine like terms, x squared plus 6x plus 9. Now there is a way, there is a shortcut. They teach it in 7.3. If you're curious, you can YouTube some videos or watch the videos through the book. But I think it's just more confusing. I think the kids try to start looking for shortcuts and they're not beneficial because the problem doesn't take that long anyway. On number 11, I can multiply the x through. That'd be x squared minus 4x. And I can multiply the 4 through. That would be 4x minus 16. After I multiply, combine my terms. X squared, negative 4 plus 4 is 0. So it goes away. So that middle term canceled out. And last one for me. When we have this 2x plus 1 squared, a lot of kids just want to say, oh, this is 4x squared plus 1, because they think we can just take the 2 and run it through. Well, again, we need to remember from chapter 6, this squared means that I have 2 of these. So what I have is 2x plus 1 times 2x plus 1. I have 2 of these things. I have 2 of whatever's in the parentheses. And once I write it out, now I can solve it. 4x squared plus 2. And then I can run this through. That's 2x, isn't it? 1 times 2x is 2x. And 1 times 1 will give me 1. Go through and combine like terms. 4x squared plus 4x plus 1. Hopefully that helps. Thanks for your time. Appreciate it. Catch you on the next one.